which company are you from?
Sama-sama, Sasrika, SPB, Sri
SPB,
Pengkalan
okay.
Binaan.
From Kedah or Malacca? You got stuck.
Lunas team. Lunas
Okay.
juga.
Tak dengar lah. Boleh repeat tak, Fariha?
Hi, I'm from Sri Pengkalan Binaan, from Lunas.
Oh, from Lunas as well. Okay. Your background is in office, same as your Malacca office, yeah?
Yeah, sama.
Oh, okay. The Malacca office is the same. The showroom is as pretty and as grand as this. We were running many trainings in Malacca for you. Thank you for logging in, Fariha, and also Roy. Roy. What about the rest? Nasro, is it? Nasro is here today. Good morning. If you are here already, you can put in a chat box and say hi, morning, and where you're from. That'll be great.
Yeah.
We have Tanusha, we have Nas, and we have Lee, Asian Mac Lee. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to today's webinar. It's called Sales Coaching, and it's going to be very interesting, especially if you're in the sales, because today our speaker is, and also our speaker is Miss Winnie Chu.
Hi.
She has been in the industry of sales and marketing for many years, and she's your Sifu of Sifu, and today you get her, a piece of her that will be excellent. Good morning, say Nasro. Nasro's from Penang. Good morning to you from Penang. Oh, I didn't know you were from Penang.
Hi, Nasro.
Yeah, he's a very good looking guy. Later on, he will turn on his camera for us. And yeah, today's topic is what, Winnie?
Okay, I'm going to show you my slide now. Okay, coaching your sales team for high performance. Wow. I think this is a very relevant topic now with all the business situation that we are facing. Yeah.
So is everybody agreeable? What do you think? Is coaching your team for high performance important? If yes, can you help us put a yes at the bottom so that we know you are coming to the right cause?
And if you can help me by putting in the chat group, right? Are you from sales function or what function are you from? So at least I know what is your key work functions.
Yeah, please type a yes from sales. And if you know, then let us know which field are you from. That'll be great. Because today the topic is sales coaching, and we specially cater this for the sales people. So Nasro say yes, he is from sales.
Okay.
And what about the rest of the people? Did you come to the right place? Because we'll be talking about a lot about sales and how you coach your team to be better performers in sales. And today's speaker will be Winnie, and she brings with her at least 25 years of experience in sales marketing, and her total sales team, the sales volume that they're doing is 400 million. So she's a very substantial trainer, and she has a lot to share with you. It depends on what is the response and what are your capacity. Then she will talk based on the customization that we can do for you. Tanusha say yes. Tanusha, thank you for replying. Fariha say yes, they are from sales. And Sasi is also from sales, right?
Okay, so we've got a very good group of salespeople here. So I encourage you to ask questions and also share your challenges along the way, right? I think that's the best way for us to learn, by sharing the challenges, so that I can share, on my experience according to the challenges that you are facing. Yeah.
Okay, Tanusha, which company are you from and what do you do? If you can unmute yourself to speak a little bit, that would be great. Morning.
Hi.
Yeah.
Morning.
Hello. Morning.
Morning. I'm Tanusha here.
Yeah.
So I'm also from the same company with my colleagues that shared previously.
Okay.
So I'm a salesperson coming from Binaan. So currently based at Kedah. So I'm also sales.
Okay. So also in they are promoting properties, selling properties, very nice properties.
Yeah.
Right? Thank
Yeah.
you, Tanisha, for coming in. Thank you. What about Jarod? We have Jarod. Jarod here? Jarod doesn't have a mic here. I'm not sure if... Jarod, are you there? Hi. How are you? There we have Nas. If you can turn on your camera, that's fine. We have a couple of people. I think most of the people are here already. Okay, great. From sales. Okay, a little bit about the program. Is going to be about 45 minutes long, so it's not very long. And we have compacted it into a brief training where it's full of value. So we hope you will gain a lot from here. It's a sales performance coaching course. It's going to be run by Winnie Chu. She has been in the industry for many years, 25 years, and she is the last meeting, the last position was in that director position. So she's in a very good position to actually coach you and also let you know and share with you actually how is it that you can increase your sales performance and also coach the entire sales team to be a better team, so that you work happily and then your performance also skyrocket. So you have come to the right cause, because iTraining actually do host many trainings that are very customized and also useful and also very high standard, and high quality. So without further ado, I think it's 10 minutes past 10. We can already start. You can put a yes here. We have a chat box for you to interact. That's why we have it here, so that we know what is your capacity and what are the products and services that you do, so that the program can be tailored to you. So without further ado, can you all give a big clap to Miss Winnie Chu?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday morning. Okay,
Wow.
I'm very excited to share with you my thoughts about how to push your sales team for high performance. I myself is very passionate in terms of people management, leadership, as well as coaching. And if you look at my experience, out of my 25 years in corporate experience, close to, I think, about 15 to 20 years I sales. So I know a lot of the pain that managers are facing when handle sales team. And what is more now, we are talking about handling sales team in a very unusual time during this crisis of COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, I'm going to share with you a little bit about, what is why coaching is so important at this time. During the coronavirus challenges, I share with you one of the survey about coaching insight, and then I will move on to talk about what should be the focus for sales coach today, right, during this situation. There are two focus I want to highlight. One is coaching on the salespeople needs. The other one is to coach on the business situation needs. So before I start my presentation, I would like to get the first participation from you, okay? Can you type in the chat group, what are some of the key challenges you are facing at this time, right, in managing, in getting sales? Managing your people could be, or in getting sales. Can you put in the chat groups? What are the main challenges that you see now in managing people, managing sales?
So your question is, what are the challenging in managing sales?
As well as in managing people.
Managing people, okay.
What are some of the challenges you are facing now? Or you see your organization facing? Okay, let's have some response in the chat groups. Is it on morale? Is it on managing the customer? Is it on managing the key account? Anyone?
So they are typing in their answers. We hear some background noise. Is it from Roy?
Yeah, I hear some background now. Okay, so I got Nats here say managing the customer expectation. And what aspect of customer expectation are you talking about? Is it customer service or is it the stock delivery?
Yeah. Sasi has a response here.
Okay, Sasi mentioned about not align on the objective and become more self-centered instead of team player. I think, Sasi, the problem that you're facing is actually very critical, because at this point of time, it's more important than ever. Everyone must be aligned on the same directions, right? You cannot be dragged into the different directions. I think focus is the key, which I'm going to cover later on. How are you going to keep that focus? Okay. Yeah. Any others? Thank you so much, for sharing, Sasi and Nas.
Yeah, for Nas, he's mentioned about managing customer expectation. You were asking him something, right, Winnie?
Asking to what aspect of customer expectation, right? Is it on the customer service level, or is it on the pricing issues, expectations? Okay, price and products. All right. Okay. Right. So I think let's keep the communication flowing. Along the way, if you find any challenges that you can think of, right, or any problem that you're facing, please put on the chat groups, right? Okay, so now let's look at one of the first two questions that I want to get a response from you. Do you think your salespeople are significantly prepared, skilled, and disciplined in relation to the self-management and adapt the selling process and strategy according to the COVID-19 situation? Can you give me your response through the poll? Yes, most of them, no, less than 50%, no, majority, not. Ira, can you help me to launch the questions?
Wow.
Okay,
So
I think we are going to launch the
yeah.
questions, the pool in. Sue, your side can launch the questions.
Yeah, the question is launched already. Does everybody see it?
No,
there is
they are
a
not
quick
seeing
poll
it.
in progress. Can you see that? Can you see that popping up? Jared has a reply to us. Yeah, he says yes, or she.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed the question actually come in 6 questions in a row, which is supposed to be one by one. But never mind, since it comes 6 questions in a row, we will review the question first at one go. Can you just type in the answer?
We want to go through the answers question number 1 is, do you think your salespeople are significantly prepared and skilled and disciplined in relation to self-management and adapt to their selling process and strategy? What do you think? If it's yes, then you can put no. If it's no, then it's less than 50%, or no, majority are not. All right, so we go to the next question. Oh, we have people answering already. Number 2, have you completed your sales crisis sales plan and communicated to the salespeople? Yes or no? Put it in very quickly. Number 3, in your sales plan, did you identify the sales activities, metrics? Yes or no? Let us know. And how often do you engage in your team during the MCO? Is it once a day, twice a day, 3 times a week, twice a week, only once a week? Yeah, put it in your response. That'll be excellent. Number 5, which statement below describe how managed can be supportive? How managed can be supportive? Ask your employee for input and comment. Is that how you manage? Give credit or past success. Acknowledge the contribution of the people. Did you do that? Or did you help them solve problems? How do you manage the team so that they become more supportive, or all of the above? And the last question is, do you have individual development plan for each of the salespeople? Do you have your individual development plan? So let us know. If you have already, you can just finish all these 6 poll questions and then we are done.
Okay, I think we are done now.
Yeah. Wow, very quick poll question. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so we will end the polling, right? Okay, so I think the response is pretty interesting. So if you look at it is, can you see the answer?
Yes.
Right, so if you look at it, out of all the participants here, we all agree that today the salespeople are not that prepared, skilled, or disciplined in terms of self-management, in adjusting the way that they sell or adjusting the sales strategy. So you look at it, 80% say no, they are not really skillful, okay, which I think is an opportunity for us to coach. 20% say majority are not. So again, this is a big gap here. if you look at, the crisis sales plan, so we have 40% have completed, which is good, right? Because this is critical. I'm going to talk about later on. If you had not, you need to have it. Activity metrics, this is something I'm going to go through later, because at this point of time, we need to make sure the reps are doing the right thing, right? The activities are focused on the high impact levels. In terms of engagement, so far, everybody's are doing between daily into 3 times per week. Majority is between daily and 3 times a week. Okay, but I think 2 times per week or 1 times per week is too low. In my opinion, it's too low. So you may want to step it up. Okay, I'm not going to go through these questions. Individual development plan, majority has. So guys, these are the background of the information here. So I think from the first question, we all see that there is a need for us to coach. And coaching is more important than ever now. Let me share with you why. I think the salespeople are struggling. You probably will agree with me that many of them are not hitting targets. Okay, so when they are not hitting targets, their financially will be impacted. That's one. And secondly is a lot of their day-to-day routine also have been changed. I mean, for some of you, you still can see your customer, which your customers don't mind about the social distancing, which is good sign. They are coming back to the normal. But for a lot of some of the other business, the customers still prefer in terms of call, right, rather than face-to-face. That means the rep routine are being impacted. And the other challenges the rep are facing is that, all the pipelines, all the sales potential has slowed down. So they need guidance. So in view on the challenges the rep are facing, it's important for the sales managers to understand individual rep challenges, empathize them and help them to build the business. And you have to build trust first, right, in coaching. So trust is also important. Right skill and tool to connect to the customer. Actually, what the rep now is, the rep also wants you to teach them, to give them the right skill, even the right tools to connect to the customer. Like for example, some of my clients, they're actually doing business development. At this moment, they cannot travel. So the question is, how are they going to connect to the customer in overseas? It's probably through a virtual sales call. So they need tools, they need to learn how to use Zoom and all those, right? So again, that's why if you look at it, in view of these current challenges, coaching is very important. It's a must now. So this is some of the sales coaching insight I want to share with you briefly. And this is one of the surveys that is done in Selling Power that did a sales management research support. They want to identify what are the differences between the sales manager in high impact sales organization versus the sales manager in low impact, low performance sales organization, right? And the high impact sales organization are defined as those with minimum 75% of the sales people hit target and the organization hit target. And the low performing organization are defined as only 25% salespeople hit target and the company are not hitting target, and in between are the average. So the insight we get from this survey is this: high impact sales manager spend nearly 3 times more likely to participate in sales coaching. Sales coaching empowers salespeople. So are you surprised with this result or not? So guys, you probably are not surprised at this result yourself. For me, I don't. I have many years of coaching salespeople and looking at different teams and how they perform. I noticed one thing. Coaching is one of the most powerful tools sales manager have. Because if you look at sales manager, we have 5 to 10 people on average reporting to us, right? If one sales manager span of control is basically 5 to 10. If the sales manager apply coaching, right, they can convert these 5 to 10 people to be super sales champion. How can the sales don't go up when every one of the reps can sell because of the coaching? Again, this shows why sales coaching is so impactful to sales performance. Can I ask a question here? I want to get your participation here, right? How do you rate in terms of the sales coaching in your organization? Which means that, do you think the sales managers in your organization coach enough? Right? You can give me the response in terms of, the coaching from the sales manager in your organization is very good, not enough, or new, there's no coaching. Can you give me some feedback in terms of how is the coaching culture in your organization? Is it high, low, medium? what is the sales coaching culture in your organization here? Anyone? Can you just type in the group chat? Because we talk about why sales coaching is so important, right? Now we want to see whether your people are doing sales coaching or not. Hi, Sasi. So you say, okay, you feel Tanusha said the managers are giving good support. Jarrod said medium. All right. So, okay, for those who have not responded, can you continue to put in the answer in the chat? So from my experience, sales managers do not coach, right? Some of the time, or do not coach enough are due to few reasons. One reason is they always say that I don't have time, right? The second reason is maybe skill. I don't know how to. Maybe I'm not very good in sales coaching. And the third one is they are not comfortable to do tough conversation. Because in coaching, sometimes you need to engage in tough conversations, to give tough feedback, right? You know, that the reps may not be comfortable, so they are not comfortable with that. So again, whatever the reason, is very important for us to make sure the sales manager continue to coach, and we need to teach them. So what does good sales coaching look like? These are the two characteristics of good sales coaching. I think number one is collaborative. The manager and salespeople co-create the action plan for improvement. You may want to say, hey, why not just tell the rep what to do? Yes, you can tell the rep what to do, but that was the sales leadership style probably 10 years, 20 years ago, right? Because by just telling the rep what to do, there may not be ownership. Because the rep do not get a buy-in, because the plan is not from there. That's why a successful sales coach, they actually discuss with the rep, you know, in terms of what are the strengths, what are some of the areas they need to perform, and then they co-agree on the area that they need to improve. So from the co-agreement, they co-create the action plans. This is where the ownership will go up, and there are better chances of the rep change behavior. The second characteristic is flexible. Sales manager adapt the action plan to the specific need of the salesperson. You see, if we have 10 reps, their needs could be different, all 10 of them. One salesperson may be not so good in product knowledge. The other salesperson may be not so good in coaching, in closing. And another salesperson may be poor in objection handling. So you sales manager need to really adapt, you know, to the situations, you know, in terms of what skill to coach. That's number one. And second thing on flexibility is also talking about to what extent the sales manager provides support. Support meaning like listen, you know, listen, acknowledge, getting input versus provide directions. Direction means, you know, to give instruction, to clarify, to tell them what to do. So sales manager need to find the right balance between support as well as directions. And that depends on what are the individual rep skill level, as well as what tasks they are performing. So these are the two major characteristics of sales coaching, which I'm going to talk a lot more during the actual full-scale sales coaching course. Now, I want to go into the part about, at this point, this crisis moment, what should be the focus for sales coach? I've identified two key areas to be the focus for the sales coach. And the first is the sales coach must coach on the business situation, because the current business situation we are facing is not a day-to-day business. We are talking about COVID-19. We are still in the middle of the storm, right? Things are getting better, but we do not know when is it going to end. So we need to coach on the business situations. The second is we need to coach on the salespeople, right? To continue to upskill their knowledge and skills so that they can become efficient. So at this point of time, you need to combine the business strategy to coach that, and the people skill, motivation, coach that. That will give you the final solution that bring the sales up. All right? So these are the two focus. I will first go into the business first. Your sales manager need to push on the business directions. And we really need to do that because sales need to go up, and it must go up. So if you look at the last few months, from what I heard is many companies, you know, have announced no bonus. Some company also have do a pay cut of 20 to 30%. And worse still, you know, some company also have what you call VSS, or some company even closed down. right? So again, if we want to make sure our business to continue to survive, to do well, sales need to go up. That's why sales manager number one priority, find ways to bring up the sales by coaching the business aspect. So if we look at the salespeople dilemma here, before I go to the salespeople dilemma, let me go to the salespeople dilemma. Salespeople also facing challenges, okay? And the challenges they are facing is, what should I do? Sales by sales is not moving, right? They may be doing 60% of their sales target. Some of the orders, there should be a repeat orders, but it's never come in. Some of the new customer pipeline is supposed to be signing on the orders this quarter, but it's postponed until don't know when. So the reps are worried about their performance, are worried about their sales. And that also leads to financial anxiety because they are not going to get incentive. The second thing is they're also thinking about what should be the focus, right? If let's say you are in the building industry, maybe you're building houses to sell, sell houses and all that. But is the consumer are willing to buy house now, right? So the rep may be thinking about, hey, how do I convince people to buy now? Because everybody is thinking about when is the best time to buy, right? With the government incentive now, is it the best time? And how do we kind of convince the consumer to buy? So sometimes the salespeople focus may go off, right? They do not know whether to chase existing customer, new customer, or what activities to do. And the other thing is, the rep also think about how do I know I'm contributing? If I'm doing 60% year-to-date target now, obviously it's not good. But what is good look like, right? Because if 100% is year-to-date achievement is too far, what should be the short-term goal that should be focusing? So that I know if I achieve the short-term goal, I should be happy. So all these things are the reps dilemma. And some of it could sound familiar because you could be facing the same problem. But the difference is, as a sales leader, even though we are facing the same problem, you have to step up, right? We have to help the reps by providing the directions, all right? So, okay, this one we have done. Just now on the questions, one of the things I noticed is that majority of the people have done, in terms of crisis sales plan. Okay, so if you look at it, is 40% has completed, 20%, I think one of you have not done. So for the person have not done, I think it's critical to do that. Okay. Sales metric, 80%. So it's good. So this is one area that I want to talk about, in coaching on the business directions. May I ask your input here? In terms of coaching the salespeople on the business, right? How to hit the target, business direction, business strategy. What are some of the challenges your teams are facing in terms of setting sales directions? Do you think it's clear? Do you think it's focused? Do you think it's addressing the most challenging issues? Highest impact to the sales? So guys, share with me, what are some of the challenges that your managers or yourself is facing in terms of setting direction for the business? Coaching on the business perspective. Anyone?
Actually, for my team, which half of them are here, it's basically getting their, to align their strength towards the objective mainly, because some, as you mentioned earlier, some of them have different strength. So in terms of me setting up their KPIs or targets is kind of a challenge because each of them have different potentials and abilities. So I can't be setting right now we are just standardizing the KPIs. However, it's not suitable for everybody actually, to be honest, because as each of them have different potential. So aligning in terms of business strategy and also their personal strength is a challenge at this moment.
Okay. So that is a key challenge, right? Okay, later on, I'm going to share with you something that will help you later on, right? Because I think that's the number one. That's why I put it into strategy number one, okay? Strategy number one is basically, later on I'm going to talk about it, is to push the people on the business perspective. I'm going to share with you later on two of the strategies targeted to that. But before I go into that, right, I think the number one things in terms of teaching business, right, is to provide clarity and structure to the salespeople at this time, right? Provide clarity and structure basically means that, you know, you set the right directions, identify key sales activity and measure it. And the first thing is to look at sales objective. Your sales objective should be targeted at a few areas. Customer's perspective, you know, what is the sales objective related to the customer? What is your sales objective related to the products, right? So you have objective product, or even what is the sales objective, you know, related to even market, right? What market are you going to do for now, right? So it's very important to get that clear. And why I say you need to set a metrics, you know, that is relevant. So how do we define relevant metrics here? I will say your metrics, what you measure is important. You must measure something that related to activities. That means what the rep are doing, right? Because for example, what are some of the examples for activity metric? You can measure metric related to the call management. How many calls the salespeople should make? Is it a cold call? Is it a face-to-face call? Right. The second one is on the account basis, right? What are the metrics related to the account? You know, the customer account, key accounts, or maybe the third one is on the pipelines. What are the metrics, you know, that bring in the new sales? So again, identify the critical ones in your business and measure it. The second one is building conversation guide for your salespeople that help them to navigate the sales interaction with the customer. So this one I will talk about detail later on, but in general, the way to sell in these current situations, right, is to sell with empathy. Empathy means that, you know, you are not tone deaf to the situation. COVID-19 affect our customer. We all know that, right? Their sales, most of them go down 25 to 50%. Unless you're selling glove, then your sales go up, right? If not, their sales go down 25 to 50%. So with that situations, your customer once also suffer, they want to see how their supplier can help them, or how their vendor can help them. So how is the rep going to build in the conversation to let the customer see that we are going to here to help, and as well as at the same time we want to sell, right? So again, this is one area you want to guide them. The other one is to provide structure, set up daily, weekly money call, right? And just now from the two questions, some of you are doing only 1 time a week or 2 times a week to meet up with the customer. I mean, to have a sales call with your rep. In my opinion, at this time, it's probably not enough, because at this time, everything is moving very fast, right? In the sense that we don't know how is the business recovery rate. We don't know what is the new initiative the customer is going to have. Some of it could be cut cost initiative, which may affect your business. That's why we need to have constant communication with the reps with two purposes. One purpose is to monitor how the business are doing, what is the customer are doing. The second purpose is to provide support to the reps. Communication is a form to support. That's why one of the recommendations I want to give you is to set up a sales rhythm in your team. Sales rhythm means that what kind of meeting you should have regularly and what kind of discussion that you have regularly. So in general, I can recommend 3 types. One type is business update meeting, right? And you can do, like one of my clients, they're doing morning and evening. So every morning, the rep will call in, it's just half an hour. Everybody talk about focus on the day, okay? Maybe my focus on the day is to see 3 customers. My focus of the day is doing 1 presentation. So the morning, they talk about focus of the day. Evening, 5 o'clock, they will call in, they just debrief the day, right? Talk about what are the information they gather from the markets, what are the challenges they're facing, and what is working. So they do a daily hurdle calls, morning, evening. Another of my, so this is one kind of example. Another example in terms of the daily business meeting is on talk about pipelines, right? Get the rep to sit down and review all the pipelines. The third one is key account review. Look at all the key accounts, you know, where are the sales going, right? Is it recovery? Is it stagnant, or is it going down? So I think this is under the sales rhythm meeting on the business perspective. And the second meeting you can do is on the selling in sort of skill improvement. I call it upskill sessions. So I think at this point of time, it's very important to train your rep on the skill. So have once a week, maybe 1 hour, just to get the rep call in together, and you'll upskill them. Whatever area, it depends. Okay, it could be a selling skill, it could be product knowledge you identify. So again, check in and care for them regularly. So you may think about, hey, we need, right? Isn't it too many meetings? But think about it at this time. This is not an unusual time. Your rep also wants the directions from you. Your rep want to feel that the sales managers know what to do. The sales manager have a plan, relate to accounts, relate to the sales, right? And they want you to be there to help them to problem solve. That's why the purpose for all this meeting. Okay? So any challenges that you all have in terms of having more regular meetings, or maybe setting up this kind of culture to have frequent communications, is that a challenge that you guys are facing? Driving the right sales culture, with more communications, with more intense focus on the customer needs. All right. So if no questions, then the second strategy I want to talk about is pipeline, okay? Opportunity coaching. Because for sales, it's like this. You have to have incoming sales. Your incoming sales are your new customer. We call it pipelines. And now we all know that, a lot of our incoming sales, our new customer pipeline are in stock, right? It's not moving. So the purpose of this coaching is to look into account problem solving. And it can be done weekly, bi-monthly, pipeline review meeting. So the coaching can be an in-person. So again, for this kind of meeting, you want to assess in terms of what is the pipeline's status now, right? Is the rep is still qualifying the pipeline? The rep may be saying that, hey, boss, I know these 3 accounts, I think these 3 can buy. So you may want to coach them on how to qualify. Is it really can buy now, right? What are some of the qualifying criteria? Maybe strategize. You can coach them on how to strategize that, execute, and close. So again, in this current situation, when it comes to pipelines management, right, the important thing to assess is where are we with the pipeline? Is it moving forward? Is it going backward? Okay. If it's moving backward, where can I come in to help the reps? Okay. Can I get your feedback in terms of are you managing the pipeline actively in your business? And what are some of the key gaps that you're seeing? Anyone? Do you think it's important to manage pipeline? And what are some of the key gaps you are seeing in your organizations? Do you have a pipeline management system? Do you review the pipelines regularly with your reps? Okay. Weekly, okay. And how was the conversation, Darusia? Was it effective? Weekly, I think it's good. At least weekly. Okay.
Yeah, it is weekly done on mainly it will be how is it? We normally do for all the reps to voice out what are their concerns, what are the problems that they're facing during like customers or whatsoever. So we do discuss weekly and try to come up with the solutions on the spot with the management.
Okay, so it's account problem solving. Okay, great, right? Okay, so these are some of the opportunity coaching questions that you can ask. Okay, as I say, right, the whole idea is to help the reps to move the pipeline forwards to close. So you can coach about, whether the reps are able to identify the business need. Do they know who are the decision maker? Are they tackling on the right person? Do they have the right strategy, right? Does our strategy meet their buying criteria? And who are the competitors? Timing. When is the decision going to be made? Sales potential. How big is this pipeline? Is it worth the effort? Stakeholder relationship. Do we have the advocates, in the in a client's company? Do they support us in this buying proposal? So at this crisis moment, these are the few key questions that you need to review, right? Because maybe because of the crisis, their business needs have changed. It could be, right? Maybe previously I want to buy a house. Now I think I don't want to buy a house, right? Because maybe my husband lost my job or whatever, you know. So again, their business need may change. Maybe they know the budget is no longer there. Decision making can change because during this time, organization going through a lot of changes. Sometimes the decision maker could have left the company. Okay, timing definitely it may change. They may say that we want to hold on to buying, we don't want to buy now, right? Sales potential, the margin may be impacted. They may squeeze you for more discount. They will say that no, now I will only buy if you can give me 5% more discount. So again, these are all the good coaching questions that you should focus on. The third one is retain and expand your existing account. And the objective is to protect and gain sales, right? So this can be done weekly, bi-monthly on the key account review. So there are the three processes that you can look into in terms of retain your existing account, right? The first one is contact. You can coach the people on the core objective. When you call your client, what to talk about, right? You know, and you can coach them on what are some kind of questions that you can ask. How are you going to build the relationship? The second one is to reduce risk. So if this is your existing key accounts, right, you may already have some orders that waiting to be fulfilled. Maybe you are waiting for to sign a new sales contract. So all these things could be at risk now because the customer may want to cut costs. So it's important for the reps to come in to assess the situation and monitor and interject intervention if required. So what are the things the reps, the managers should coach? The manager should coach the rep to heighten the value messages, to remind the customer to see how is the solution able to help the customer to solve the problem they're having, okay? And the third part is actually on the expand, because we need sales to go up. So you need to look into cross-selling opportunities, right? Is there other product your customer can use but they're not buying? Cross-sell. Even if the customer say, I cannot buy now, right? Can you give pilots your new solution? Sample? So these are some of the options for you to target at future upsales opportunities, right? So the kind of coaching focus the sales managers need to have is coach on opportunities on the existing accounts, okay? So if you look at the business perspective, right, we need to be realistic and flexible, right? We all know that we want to hit 100%, but at this moment may not be realistic. Your rep may target at doing 5 sales calls a day, but maybe because of some rejection from the customer, because of social distancing, they only manage to do 4. So we need to be flexible. But important thing is focus on the reps doing, right? What is the rep doing day to day? It's the sales activity that is very important for you to make sure that it's happening. Because the theory is this, I strongly believe you cannot control the business result, but you can control the sales activity, eventually to drive the result, all right? So that is the part on the coaching on the business perspective. 3 things. Number 1, you give directions, set up a system of communication, your sales rhythm. Number 2, coach the pipeline. Number 3, coach on maximizing sales, product sales on the existing key accounts, right? Any questions? If no questions, right, I will just go quickly on the coaching on the people. And the objective of coaching the people is to maximize their potential to increase performance. And you want your salespeople to go up the ladder like this, become a sales champion. So one of the key things you need in coaching people is to build trust. Okay, so make sure you spend time, lead with empathy at this time. Go a regular check-in with the reps. How are they doing? Address their concerns, address their worry, right? So there are 2 dimensions of sales performance here. You want to get sales, your rep must have the right skill set and knowledge set. They must have the right motivation. So when you're talking about coaching rep, these are the 2 key focus. So this can be done in a weekly or quarterly. And how is through observation, feedback, demonstration, create awareness and impact, right? So these are something that the sales manager need to be focused. And at this point of time, I will highlight on 3 particular areas you need to coach your rep as far as people skill. You need to coach them to be empathetic listening, to ask the right questions, relevant questions to the client, and even their sales pitch, right? Let me share with you how. Number 1, your rep go out and sell now, right? Which is good, they have the activity, but you have to worry about whether they have the effectiveness or not. Because in front of the customer, if you're not effective in sending your message, right, in selling, you're not going to get the result. The sales will go backward. And we are in the current sensitive situations that the customer also facing their own set of problems, right? They're worried about their own sales, they're worried about their own financials, they're worried about their job, they're worried about a whole lot of things. The last thing they want to hear from the rep is chasing sales. They don't want the rep to come and chase sales. In fact, what do they want? They want the rep to come and solve their problem, and this is what they want, and provide solution to them to improve their life, okay? So this is a whole new set of selling we're talking about. So you need to coach your rep to sell with empathy. You need to balance the logic and the heart. On one side, you want the rep to, you want the customer to feel that we are here for you, we are here for you. So they need to ask the right questions, engage in the right conversation with heart. On the other side, of course, we need to sell, right? How do they sell in a way that it makes sense? It doesn't sound too pushy. So again, right, the ways to go about it is to acknowledge the COVID-19 situations. Because the customer receptivity is down, as I said, the last thing they want to hear is you pushing them for the sale. So how to open that up is to acknowledge that this situation is there. Start asking the customer about their business. Start with them, focus on that. How is your business doing, right? What kind of challenges your business are facing, right? And how is our solution serving your, okay? And also ask them, what is the current new KPI now, right? What is the new priority now? So from there, you roughly know what are their situation. Then you adjust your sales pitch and messages correctly. So do not assume how you sell before COVID-19 is going to be the same, right? If you want to sell effectively, you need to tune to the current situation, adjust your sales speed, right? And this is one area you can coach your rep. Can I get from the group here, how are you doing with this area? Do you coach your rep on how to sell now? Do you really look into your sales messages, your sales material? Do you do that? What is the key challenges that you're facing in this area? Do you adjust your sales pitch? Do you know how to sell, you know, in a more convincing manner, in an empathetic manner? Okay, so I think this is one key area that, you know, you can coach your reps, or maybe you can get coaching about this. All right. Okay, the other thing is, in the next strategy is actually to look into the successful sales coach, identify specific skill or knowledge to coach to increase the win rate. Because we all know that in sales, we want to hit target. Okay, so for you, if you're not hitting target, you need to think also from here. This is a formula for you to think. What are you going to improve? What should the rep improving? First thing is you need to look at business result. Okay, if your business result is down, the first question you have to ask is why? How is my pipeline? Okay, if let's say your pipeline, you have a lot of pipeline but no sales, you know, you may want to think about, is it because I cannot close, the rep cannot do closing, or is it because, you know, I got problem in qualifying my pipeline? Maybe the customer is not planning to buy already, right? But I still put it into the forecast, so it's a forecast problem, right? So from here, you know whether I need to coach the closing skill or not. The other one is, if let's say, for example, if the reps got no pipeline, every month, you know, the sales forecast is very low, then you may want to think about what is the problem here. Do they have a prospecting skill? Are they engaging in prospecting activities or not, right? If let's say the activity is also very low, then you have to think, why is the rep not doing? Is it a motivation problem? Is it an attitude problem? So that's why in strategy 5, I talk about when you want to coach your rep, or maybe you want to coach yourself, for example, is to start with the end result and move backward, focus on the sales process, and ask yourself which of the process they got stuck. Okay, So the advantage of doing that is it can help you to zoom in exactly what to coach that can bring up the sales number. All right? And that's why the output from this is to put into your IDP plan, you know, individual development plans for the reps or for yourself. Okay. Any questions? Right. Do you have a very clear sales process in the organizations or not? And how effective is your sales process in the organization? Sales process meaning that, you know, from prospecting up to getting sales. Do you have a common selling skill models in your organization? Can I get some feedback? Do you have a common selling approach, common sales skill in your organization? Maybe common selling skill process. Do you have it? So it's very important to have a common selling process. Maybe it's a selling skill. Okay, Sasi say yes. Okay. So you need to look at this process and ask yourself, is there anything need to change with this process or not? Okay. Because in selling, right, it is not what you say, you know. It's basically how you say it. Cold calling is one thing, right? Because the whole process can go from cold calling into setting appointment, into face-to-face, right? So the process will mean the whole spectrum from cold calling into sales, okay? And the other important aspect is selling skill. Do you have the same selling skill model in the organization? Do everybody train the same way for selling skill? Zaruk, do you have that? Are your people all trained on the same selling skill? How to handle objection? Okay, okay, that's good. Okay, so the next strategy is basically to give feedback, right? Coaching will only happen when the rep realizing the gaps. And how do they realize the gap is by you asking how are you performing, right? So feedback is actually quite simple. If you follow these 3 rules, you will not get wrong. Number 1 is when you give feedback, you focus on your behavioral. Okay, you need to tell people what they're doing well and what kind of behaviors is involved. Be descriptive. Think about it. If I go and tell people, hey, just now I like the sales call that you did, it was very good. It's not descriptive. It's not going to let the rep know exactly what they're doing well. So you need to say, just now the sales call you did very well. You know, I like the way you handled just now the objection, right? And you did that. So you need to focus on 2 questions. What did you do well? Because that question will build the rep competence. The second question is, how could you do differently? And this will help them to build the competence, for them to realize the gap, right? So in sales coaching, when you give feedback, you start by asking the rep first. You don't offer your feedback first. It's only after the rep tell you, then you tell them your observation. Then from there, you jointly agree on the plan. Okay. So let me ask you this. In your organizations, are people open to feedback or not? Are people able to talk freely, to give each other feedback, to have maybe tough conversations if needed? Because in a high-performing company, right, people must be able to give feedback, to have hard conversation if they need to. That means courageous conversation, right? In your organization, are people comfortable with that? Comfortable to give feedback? Comfortable to have hard conversations? Not everyone. Or even engage in hard conversation. Hard conversation, that means it's a conversation that is not comfortable to the other party, but it's necessary to carry out for the performance to go up. Not really? Okay. So I think, Zaruk, right, if let's say in your organizations, people are not comfortable to give feedback, right? So I think you need to find a way to improve the feedback skill, to create a culture that people are able to give straight talk, you know, because sometimes this straight talk is not to subordinate. It can be to the boss, right? It can be to my peer. And the objective is only when everybody put things on the table, right? That we can solve the problems. So I think this is one area that I think organizations should look at. Okay, now the last strategy, this is the last strategy, is to ask questions. And in coaching, asking questions is the fundamental. And why asking questions is important? Because it promotes self-discovery and self-collection. For example, if I go and tell the reps, look, you need to improve your selling skill. Your selling skill is not good. Is the rep going to accept it? Do you think the rep is going to say, yeah, my selling skill is not good, right? I need to change that. For all you know, the rep may be thinking that, no, I think my selling skill is good. You are just being personal. You don't like me. Okay, thank you. You know, Nat said a question opened the mind, definitely. That's why in coaching, we are talking about self-discovery, right? The rep may see himself as very good in selling skill, but you see he's not. Okay, so you need to get the rep to see the reality. The reality is you are not good in this skill. So how are you going to do that? Is to ask questions for them to realize. Okay, and you also provide feedback at the same time. But asking questions is also clarify their thoughts to really make them understand, you know, what do they want? Okay, if they do not want to improve their selling skill, you know, what is really going to impact them? What do they want, right? What do they think is important in selling or important in their career? So you have to raise the awareness. You're hoping to uncrack the paradigms, you know, by making them to think about the consequences. So don't tell them the consequences. Ask them the consequences. If you continue to do this, what is going to happen? Okay, right? What needs to happen for you to increase your sales? So all these are good questions. So again, questions help to enroll, convince, and persuade your salespeople to change. So this is the power of asking questions. You know, in coaching, in my class, when I teach coaching, I actually teach them on the process of talking. Because coaching is a process skill. It's how you talk that is important, right? So in the next slide is actually to show you, you know, a simple formula on how to talk. In my actually selling skills coaching session, right, I actually talk about the coach process, you know, that you have to go through 5 process talk. But I summarize it into 3, right? To ask the right questions, we'll first start by asking questions around the observation, right? You focus on what? Do you notice this happen? What happened just now? Why do you do that? Did it surprise you when you heard about this feedback? So you focus on getting the people realize what is wrong, what is the gap. Then after the people realize the gap, what is happening, what is wrong, what needs to improve, then you get them to reflect. So what? Because people do not like changes. They think that, well, maybe I'm poor in selling skill, but so what? I still can get my sales. Some of them still can hit target, right? Maybe, you know, they got some very good account. But you need to ask them this question. If you continue to be like this, what does it lead to? Okay. What did that mean to you if, let's say, you continuously cannot answer to the customer questions? And what will this cost you? Maybe it will cost you a promotion, right? Are they okay with that? So rather than telling them all these impact, I call it impact consequences, you ask questions for them to discover themselves. The last part is actions. Your kind of question, you focus on actions, right? Now what? What are we going to do now? Okay. So once they realize the impact on the action, you ask a question like, what do we do next now? What will we do differently? And how confident are you going to carry out the action plan, right, to get the commitment? Okay. So from my observations, when I do coaching classes, one of the key gaps the coach are facing, right, is how to ask the right questions. They find it's very challenging. They end up talking most of the time. But in fact, in coaching, the coaches should talk most of the time, right? So again, this is a skill. If you want to be a sales manager or you are managers, you have not done coaching skill before, it's a must-have skill. I will strongly encourage you to go and find a coaching course to attend. So, so this is my last slide. In summary, coronavirus poses quite significant challenges, and sales coaching is more important than ever. Focus on 2 areas: coaching the business, coaching the salespeople, right? And coaching does not work 100% of the time, guys, right? Don't think about coaching is a magic solution, because coaching has to use together with leadership style, right? So there are certain times coaching doesn't work, you need to use a different leadership style, right? So you need to be flexible. Any questions before I go to my next slide? So, okay, after seeing all this, right, let me ask you this. Do you think the managers in your organizations are ready to take up the coaching challenges in the next 6 months? Do they know how to coach or not? Do they know how to carry on the coaching conversation? Any feedback on the chat? How ready is your sales organization managers in terms of coaching the salespeople in the next 6 months? Do you think they're highly skillful at the moment to coach the salespeople in the next 6 months, which is really critical now, or they need to improve further? Do they know the process skill of coaching? Right? So Sasi, you think they need to learn about the process skill? Okay. So guys, when I have my manager, I used to lead about 30 managers. The first training I give them is coaching, right? I will make sure they're aware about the process skill, right? What you need to talk. You need to start defining the issue, defining the topic. Then you need to ask questions. You need to create impact, right? You need to handle objections, consequences. Then you need to gain a commitment. And how to be flexible, right? When are you going to push? When are you going to pull? And this is where leadership style will come about. All right. So guys, now let me share with you. If you think, right, you want to improve on the performance of your organization, or even you want to improve your performance of your team and being a strong leader, there are something that you need to learn, right? Which is a comprehensive leadership skill for managers. So actually, there's 2 online trainings that we have equipped, right? That is for leaders. I think the first one is leader skill for manager. This can be for sales and non-sales. This leadership skill, which is scheduled on the 18th or 19th of June. And in this training, I'm focusing on many aspects of critical area of leadership. One is leadership skill. What kind of 6 leadership style they are? You know, you will do a small assessment to find out what is your leadership style dominant. What is your key leadership style that you use more often? And what are some of the styles that you don't use, but you need to develop? Because survey have shown, you want to be a very successful leader, you need to minimum use 4 styles and above. And coaching is only one of the styles. You need to use 4 styles and 4 different styles and above, right? In order to be a good leader based on the situation. Then we will talk about how do you build high performance team, okay? And how are you going to address, the team dysfunctions, right? Dysfunction like communication problem, conflict issues, the goals are not clear, right? So there are 5 dysfunctions the team always are facing. How are you going to handle that? And this one is interesting, right? Culture. How are you going to build a strong culture? Like just some of you I mentioned, the team concern is not able to focus and align on the objective. They are not focusing on the right behavior, right? So I think culture is very important. Culture is actually decide how people behave, how people work. Now change, we know change is very important. Learn about how to manage change. If you want to drive change in your organization, in your sales team, how are you going to manage that? Performance development. How are you going to manage performance? How do you conduct appraisal? Simple thing. Conduct appraisal is a year-end thing. But is it only year-end or not? It's actually more than year-end, right? So how are you going to conduct the performance appraisal? How are you going to conduct, the performance conversation during the year? The last part is actually on the motivate sales team. How are you going to motivate your team? Okay. So these are the 6 comprehensive areas that we'll cover during the 2 days. Okay, Sue, am I right?
Yes, of course. Yep.
Yeah. So, guys, let me ask you, what do you think about this kind of topic? Is it relevant or is that the needs for your organization now? From your perspective, do you think these 6 particular areas are the key focus that your organization need to focus now? And bear in mind, for each of these sessions, right, I'm giving you the skill, I'm giving you the process as well, right? So it's not going to be a motivation training, but it's going to be a process training. I'm going to teach you the method. Okay, can I get some response? You know, do you think this is some of the leadership skill needs trainings that your organization need to have? Right. And honestly, I'm really passionate about this. Take for example, for leadership style skill, right? When I was a young manager 15 years ago, I just think about coaching, which is important. It gives me to have certain result. But now, honestly, after so many years to be in a senior manager position, I realized one thing. My style need to change, you know. So towards the end, right, I'm using all 5 leadership style, right? Sometimes 6, because situation change. There are sometimes I need to be very firm. There are sometimes I need to listen, right? So again, this is one of the very important skills, right? Okay, so you can continue to give you your feedback on the chat, right? The other thing, the other leadership skill training we have is high impact sales coaching. Some of the topics are similar, right? This one is on the 6 and 7. Drive high performance up mindset. This one we focus on accountability, culture, right? Because in sales, accountability are very important. So we focus on both accountability and culture. Number 2 is we focus on how are you going to set sales objective. What kind of sales objective you need to set? What kind of metric you need to set? So I'm going to give you the formula on how to align the sales team in the same directions and how are you going to control your number better. Because by controlling the activities, you control the number better. And the 3rd and 4th are the similar, you know, to the previous training, right? Which is talking about lead and manage change and motivate. So this particular session are more skilled to sales management. All right. Okay, so any question on this? Sue, over to you now. Any question you want to ask the group?
Okay, thank you very much. So there are 2 programs that will be very suitable. One is on focuses more on leadership. The other one is actually high impact sales coaching, which is more for people who are ready to actually develop their coaching skills, right? Sales coaching actually consists of 4 different components, which is driving your high performance mindset, and then you have your alignment of the sales team, and also the lead and managing change, which is what Winnie is very good at, and also how do you motivate your sales team. So this whole course is actually a 25 years of experience of what Winnie has put in. So it's called the sales coaching. And if the other course that if you can flip back to the slide before that, that will be the leadership course, which is also a comprehensive one that focuses on a more generic. So if you're a salesperson or in a leadership position, this is also a very relevant course for you, which is actually a 7-hour course for both of these courses. It's actually a 1-day course, but we break down into 2 days, so it's half day, so that you have more time to talk about it and then sink into your brains, and also a lot more interaction with Winnie. And if you have a lot of any issues, and also bring it in so that we can discuss during that and then. So these are the 2 courses that Winnie is very good at, and we are actually sending it out to you so that you can attend the course and actually gain more from what you have gained so far. So thank you very much for spending time with us. I hope you have a great time. And you know, Nas, right, you haven't answered a question from Nazro. He says that it's very important for us to change for better solution in the current market situation. That's what he commented. Winnie, do you have anything to add? And
yeah, I think there's a success here, right? You know, it's agile, right? Because the market are changing very fast. The needs also changing. So, for example, what are some of the agile things that change that you need to have? Number 1, sales, right? How are you going to change your selling style? Your selling skills also need to change. If in the past that you're only going to sell, based on transactional selling, maybe now you need to sell more based on insight or even more based on customer needs. okay, or even the product of focus, maybe you need to change as well, right? It depends on the kind of product you guys have. Yeah.
So earlier on, Nas, very in the beginning, some of the challenges he highlighted was managing the customer's expectation, especially the pricing and the products of the things that he's selling. He's selling big properties, so it's a major investment. So these are some of the challenges that he highlighted. Do you have some pointers for him, Nas? Is that what you asked for?
Your products, right? Okay, because
Yeah.
you see, you look at people buying house, right?
Mm.
You need to identify, the needs of the customer. For example, if let's say it's a family, right? So you need to look at, what's the need of the family? Do they need to have a big hall, small hall, or whatever? So I think rather than looking at your product and decide how to push your product, right? At this point of time, you need to look at the customer need and to see which are the products, and how are you going to adjust the benefit that is relevant to the customer, right? I think that's a key. Yeah.
So
And
does that
not stop prospecting, you see, right? That's important also. So even though we say this is a tough situation, but there are still many people that are looking for an opportunity to buy the house, right? Yeah, so I think it's also important not to stop prospecting, assuming they are not going to buy. We should assume they are going to buy and see how are we going to fit our product into their needs. Yeah.
So you did mention before, Vinny, that if you must believe and trust and are very passionate about the products that you have, so that you can actually present it to prospects, because they are buying a big investment. Either they buy it as a big home for the new family, or maybe it's for investment. So they have specific needs. So
Yeah, and I think the
you can cater to exactly what they're thinking, and also very passionate. Yeah.
Yeah, the salespeople have to sell in passions, because like you say, right, the customer are actually buying a big investment in a house, sometimes, how many times customer is going to buy a house? Maybe 2 times, 3 times the most for own stay, right? So I think the reps have to be passionate and excited about it. You have to match, the customer excitement, right? Yeah, I think that's also an important part.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay. I actually have a group of young salespersons. Like basically my team consists of ranging from less than 30 years old. So, and I also have high performers, and I also have not so performing. So how do I bridge that gap in terms of conveying my messages, conveying my values, in terms of my main focus personally would be attending to customer needs, whether they're buying or not, whether they are gonna pay or not. So how do I install the first step, which is prospecting, in terms of make sure that we do identify the concern in the first step itself, right, when during the prospecting itself.
Okay, prospecting itself, right? Okay. So to me is, you are talking about, the selling approach, right? You're talking about, you want to set up, a sales approach, a sales culture that is very much on focusing on customer need. Am I right? Sasi, am I right? You're looking at to change the selling approach into very customer need focus. Am I right?
Yeah. So, and how I mean basically, do I create a script for them instead, or let them to be as flexible as they are or comfortable they are in terms of conveying their messages, because each of them have different style of cold calling itself. Like some of them are very, like Nazrul, he's actually a very outgoing kind of person, so he have very friendly approach. Some of them are very rigid, like in terms of very static. When they call, it will be like a robotic kind of, hi, I'm calling from here, I'm actually got your number, blah blah blah. So but when it comes to Nazrul, he's very different. Hi bro, like kind of thing. So how do I standardize that? Can I standardize that?
Actually, yes, you can standardize that. Right? I'm not talking about you remove the flexibility from the salespeople. No, I'm not talking about that, right? Because you see, in terms of cold callings, in terms of what you call prospecting, right? There are certain formula you need to be there to be successful. There's certain formula. Like, for example, the formula, it has to be, when you call the customer, your tone of voice, right? If your tone of voice is already so low, and so passive, and so not excited, your chances of success is way lower. Am I right? Okay, so number one, the kind of cold calling, the characteristic of cold call is your tone of voice. It must sound exciting first, right? It must sound on the positive tone first. So this is something that you need to incorporate, into the cold calling call, or what makes a good sales call as one of the criteria. So those are the area you can standardize that. Yeah, because to me is that if you have a formula that can ensure success, why not you duplicate the formula to everybody? Right? Simple thing like, for example, objection handling. I just use objection handling as an example, right? You have some salespeople say, oh, I like to handle objection this way. I just go direct and tell the customer, why my product is able to do this, right? But in the right objection handling, right, they're actually consisting of 4-step process. You need to acknowledge, you need to clarify the concern, then you do a rebuttal, then you check the receptivity again. So what you can do is you can standardize, the criteria or the process, then how we can leave it to them to their own style. You see, the process has to be there. For example, the process, maybe you can start off with like, your tone of voice, right? You have to have a loud, reasonable loud and upbeat tone of voice. Then the second thing is what, right? The third thing is what, right? You can set that. It's good to have the structure.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
I think that's good questions, Sati. Yeah.
That's what I say, yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah, very friendly guy. All right.
Yeah, it is. Most of our customer really likes his approach.
Okay.
Yeah, because you see, you have to sound approachable in the cold call first. If your voice is not friendly, is not approachable, nobody is going to respond. Yeah, that's probably what differentiates his being high performer, and there's some high, there's some low. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Roy, for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right. For those other people, you have any questions, you can post it here very soon. Another few minutes, we will call this a day. Thank you for joining us. This is, I hope this has been fruitful. Winnie, do you have the next slide, which is the course? Yeah, we will send you a course feedback form if you can kindly send it back to us and let us know if you have learned heaps from this course. That would be excellent. So we will open the floor a little bit since Nastro is here. If you have turned on your camera already, can we ask you for, what do you call that, a short time with us and let us know what you have picked up, what you have learned? That would be great. Yeah. Can you, yeah. Jarrod say thank you. Jarrod, we haven't seen your face yet, but thank you so much for coming. We would like to hear from you as well. Yeah.
Yeah, any feedback on the course?
Roy?
Roy. Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm at home.
No problem. Yeah.
Okay. For me, for me, of course, I'll be more excited to join in terms of the one that you have proposed. But for now, it's like a reflection session for me, meaning like I could reflect: am I doing this right? Am I following these guidelines?
Yeah.
So whether is this being implemented for our team? Whether is this a good platform? Whether good, how to say, do I check all the questions? Do I ask this to them? Because we have a culture where we are I think I'm more approachable in terms of we like talk like friends. I hope so. I don't want to ask Nazrul and the Pariha and Tanusha, but for me, my approach will always be more friendlier to my team, because that way I can be more approachable to their struggles. Because if I'm just a person who leads the team, I'll be a person who don't hear them. So this session actually gives me a reflections in terms of, do I do this right? So like it's a reflection session for me. So I find this a more self-reflecting session. Basically, it is like that for me. Yeah.
So Winnie did add a lot of value into your reflection, eh?
Yeah, she does. She does. Like, okay, am I doing this right? That kind of questions that keep triggering into my mind. Like whenever she go slide by slide, okay, this question, do I ask them? Because we do have like this evaluation sessions like on a monthly basis, which I believe I'm not doing this more often with the team. So right, and during pandemic time, I'm only meeting the team like once a week during the Zoom call and during our meeting. But that's not enough. So when from this session, I found out, okay, that's not enough. So this kind of self-reflection coming up. Yeah.
That's very good. You're building your coaching skills as a manager from a very experienced trainer and speaker. So
Yeah,
which
I'm
course?
privileged.
Yeah, very privileged. Thank you to Paywan and the Sri Pengkalan's management in Malacca, whom we have been the consultant. So which course are you interested in actually? The leadership one or the sales coaching?
The first one, the leadership one.
Leadership one, yeah. Yeah. Which is coming up and it's a confirmed course, 18,
Yeah.
19 June. You can speak to my team later on about this.
Yeah, sure, sure.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in. How's the business at the moment? Is it
For our team, thank goodness I'm really having a good team teammates actually, to be honest. Like I would definitely call them my family, because during this
Wow.
pandemic time, yeah, because they are during this point of time, they're actually taking care of each other and making sure everybody is like in a good health condition. That's definitely, and following SOPs. And actually, to be honest, during this pandemic, we can see that within their comfort level, they have actually excelled. Everybody did do well because they are at the comfort of their home and comfort of their self. So they more performing compared to like why we're there in
That's good.
office. Yeah, so which is good, because which have led us to the whole team actually successfully sold out our first phase. So we are now ongoing for ongoing for second phase, which I believe in the team they will do better, even better this point around.
Okay.
so? Congratulations. So what you mean is during MCO, even if you cannot meet your customers face to face, your first phase is all sold out.
Yes, correct.
So there's
Sales opportunity is
excellent.
actually everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
It depends on
Because
how you approach the customer.
yeah, and the product and the price we are offering also quite compatible, because we are very near to Penang. So the product that we have, if let's say, I'm not supposed to quote a competitor, but if let's say we compare to Eco World, they are the same type of product will cost about 700K and above. However, with ours, our price range is like less than 400K. So with that affordability, so because we want to offer affordability and quality house to everybody, so within that guideline, we actually managed to capture that success actually. And everybody else, like all our sales team, like even though customer not buying, the prospecting level is different. They actually make sure they solve the solution or concern of the customer, because we do have like pre-screening methods where we make sure even before customer decide to buy, we do their eligibilities, we do their financial record advices. So even though they walk out without buying, they still have some knowledge. So that is the approach everybody is carrying. Yeah.
Because they could be your future customer.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Is the location almost the same as the competitor? Is this very
No.
near Penang?
But but we are in Kedah, so we are at the border actually, at 15 minutes to Penang. So it's accessible. So it's like if you're from Kedah to Penang, you can just within 30 minutes you can go to Pulau Pinang already. Like you can cross the bridge already. Yeah.
So you can go to Penang to work and then you come back home at the
Correct.
comfort of your home. Okay.
Yeah. So
At the
currently our
fraction of the
profile.
price. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Profile.
Okay.
Most of our customers are based in Penang anyway.
Right.
Very
So
near.
they're making a very good choice then, because the fraction of a price, but they are working elsewhere.
Yeah.
So usually they buy to stay, right?
Yes. Very small percentage actually buying for investments, because of course we can understand with Kedah land, they don't have much of investing values. I do understand that, especially pandemic season. But however, own stay, yes, because our size, the size that we are offering also quite bigger than most of the competitor product. Our opening itself already 2022, and also we also offer how to say, even within your house, you already have private land. And behind your house you will have another 40 feet green back lane. Yeah, 40 feet green back lane in between your lolong belakang. So that's a really, yeah. So that's the product for it.
I think it will cost 2.9 million in where I stay now.
Yes, and we are offering that price at less than 400K actually. Actually, lesser than that, even lesser than 350K.
Okay, Winnie, book 5 minutes.
Book 5.
Please do.
One you stay, the other 4 you rent out. Okay, thank you very much for sharing. Street Pangkalan actually do very, very good houses, and their workmanship is also very good. They are one of the biggest one in Malacca.
And then we scored the QLastic score 70%. We are the highest score receiver in Malacca actually for the QLastic score quality. Yeah.
Congrats.
And our project also, we also earned the award for Cornerstone Award for Luna's project from Staff Property. It's like a award given to projects which have all sort of amenities, and it's like a core project in the town. We consists of a lot of amenities. So we be given, like, we are actually same par with Gamuda Land. So they earned the first place. We actually had the honor space second.
One of the big developers.
Yes.
With very good facilities and amenities and workmanship.
So please buy if you need our house.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. So we wish you a great second phase, sold out as well.
Yeah, we hope so. With the team,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Sure can.
Yeah.
Now things is moving already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a good team like Azam and Nazul, Fareha, and Tanusha. They're actually very good salespersons. Yes.
Wow, okay, that's good. We'll continue to upgrade your coaching skills and your leadership skills, and they continue to also work happily. That'll be excellent.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Glad to hear that Street Pangkalan is doing very well. So thank you very much for joining us. We will see you again. Please fill up the cost evaluation form so that we can have some record and feedback. And also, if you need any other assistance, my team will actually contact you.
Sure,
So we wish you a great morning, a great almost afternoon now. Yeah, and continue to sell and excel. Thank you.
And have a good weekend.
Yeah.
You too.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.